Letter 144 to Mr. George Gillespie. George Gillespie was the son of Mr. John Gillespie, sometime minister of the gospel at Kilcaldy. He was licensed to preach the gospel sometime prior to 1638, and in April that year was ordained minister of Wemyss. In 1642, by the General Assembly, he was translated to one of the churches in Edinburgh, where he continued till his death. Gillespie possessed talents of the highest order, and so much were these appreciated that, young as he was one of the 4 ministers sent as commissioners from the Church of Scotland to the Westminster Assembly in 1643. There he attracted general notice by the cogency of argument and the rare learning which he showed in pleading the cause of presbytery and opposing Erastianism. At one of the meetings of that assembly, when the learned Selden had delivered a long and an elaborate discourse in favour of Erastianism, to which none seemed prepared to reply, Gillespie, who was still a young man, was observed to be writing. A venerable friend went to his chair and asked if he had taken notes, but found that he had written nothing except these words, frequently repeated: "Give light, Lord." His friend urged him to answer. Gillespie at last rose, and in an extempore speech refuted Selden with a power of reasoning and an amount of learning which excited the admiration of all present. Selden himself is said to have observed, after hearing this reply, "That young man, by a single speech, has swept away the labour and the learning of 10 years of my life." Gillespie died in December 1648, in the 36th year of his age. During his last illness, he enjoyed little comfort, but was strong in the faith of adherence to the divine promises, a subject on which he insisted much in his sermons. When asked if he had any comfort, he said, "No. But though my Lord allow me no comfort, yet I will believe that my beloved is mine, and that I am his." To 2 ministers who asked what advice he had to give them, he answered, "I have little experience of the ministry, having been in it only 9 years, but I can say that I have got more assistance in the work of preaching from prayer than study, and much more help from the assistance of the Spirit than from books." And yet he was known to have been an indefatigable student. He is the author of various works, which are chiefly controversial, such as the English Popish Ceremonies and Aaron's Rod Blossoming. Suspicions of Christ's love removed, 3 desires. Reverend and dear brother, I received your letter. As for my case, brother, I bless his glorious name that my losses are my gain, my prison a palace, and my sadness joyfulness. At my first entry, my apprehensions so wrought upon my cross that I became jealous of the love of Christ, as being by him thrust out of the vineyard, and I was under great challenges as ordinarily melted gold casteth forth a drossy scum. And Satan and our corruption form the first words that the heavy cross speaketh, and say, God is angry. He loveth you not. But our apprehensions are not canonical. They indite lies of God and Christ's love. But since my spirit was settled, and the clay has fallen to the bottom of the well, I see better what Christ was doing. And now my Lord is returned with salvation under his wings. Now I want little of half a heaven, and I find Christ every day so sweet, comfortable, lovely, and kind, that three things only trouble me. First, I see not how to be thankful, or how to get help to praise the royal King, who raiseth up those that are bowed down. Second, his love paineth me, and woundeth my soul, so that I am in a fever for want of real presence. Third, an excessive desire to take instruments in God's name, that this is Christ and his truth which I now suffer for, yea, the apple of the eye of Christ's honour, even the sovereignty and royal privileges of our King and Lawgiver, Christ. And therefore, let no man score at Christ's cross, is an ill report upon him or it. For he beareth the sufferer, and it both. I am here troubled with the disputes of the great doctors, especially with Dr. B, in ceremonial and Arminian controversies, for all are corrupt here. But I thank God, with no detriment to the truth or discredit to my profession. So then, I see that Christ can triumph in a weaker man, nor I. And who can be more weak? But his grace is sufficient for me. Brother, remember our old covenant, and pray for me, and write to me your case. The Lord Jesus be with your spirit. Yours, in his sweet Lord Jesus, Samuel Rutherford, Aberdeen, March the 13th, 1637.